The grass is not always greener. It's easy to fool ourselves into thinking that life would be better if. Life would be better if we had more money, if we lived in Monaco, if we were better looking, if we were highly intelligent, if we had more friends, if we were supremely successful. But in truth, on the other side of the hill, the rich are often unhappy and isolated. The monegasques live in a claustrophobic bubble. How we look is probably better than we think. The highly intelligent are prone to anxiety and depression. The quality of friendship matters far more than the number of friends, and a steep price is often paid for success. Greener grass is a mind thing. Use it or lose it. We have one life and one body to live it with. In order to keep our precious bodies in the best possible condition, we need to take care of them by exercising regularly and wisely, and by consuming food and drink which will build, replenish, and restore us to optimal condition. Then, with a spring in our step in the present, we may look forward to a healthy future. Debt drags us down. We may owe money, we may owe time, we may owe an apology, we may owe gratitude, we may even owe our lives to someone. Accumulating debt takes a toll on both mental and physical health and needs to be settled. Take appropriate steps to diminish the debt and unburden the soul. There will always be a rainy day. Into every life a little rain must fall, and sometimes the rain will be a violent downpour. To be human is to suffer disaster, tragedy, and sudden twists of fate. Rather than living life in fear of the inevitable, as far as possible, we need to make calm and sensible provision for possible future hardship. Putting money aside, being prudent about actions and pursuits, becoming more self-sufficient, keeping a wise eye on family and friends, having a first aid kit and a fire extinguisher, servicing the car and the boiler, and befriending our neighbours may mean the difference between getting a little damp or getting soaking wet. Don't be a slob. There are minor slobs, medium slobs, and full-blown slobs, and they have two things in common. They are completely self-centered, and they expect other people to clear up the mess they make. Not replacing the toilet roll, leaving the unwashed dishes in the sink, never cleaning, never tidying up, never doing a job properly, or doing a job but leaving everything used to complete the job in total disarray. Slobs breed mould, germs, and towering resentment. Slobs alienate friends and family. Slobs enrage colleagues. Don't be a slob. We're all a bit nuts. No one is entirely sane, or, more accurately, our hold on sanity is surprisingly fragile. When relentless and unremitting pressure is applied by illness, accident, or work, we may find our hold on our ability to function rationally severely impaired. At such times we need to cosset ourselves like never before. Our mind is telling us that it needs time, comfort, and reassurance. We must not soldier on because we may break. Whatever our circumstances, we need to diminish the heroics and get help, advice, and sustenance. Don't let the sun go down on an argument. It takes two. You may be responsible for some of it. Take yourself off and simmer whilst you pick painfully through the debris. Acknowledge your part. Calm down. Reconnect honestly but fairly. Hug and make up. Go outside. Inside there are computers, cooking, broken things that need mending, people you may not like, noise, confusion, stress, chaos, or stale air. Outside, there may be enjoyable distraction, time alone, a sandwich in a park, a country walk, a little gardening, something to tinker with, a break from what went before. Open the door. Breathe. Suspect the shoulds. It should be on the second shelf on the left. It should take 10 minutes. He should be in charge of this project. I should go on a diet. They should put more salt in the pasta. Shoulds inhabit a make-believe world where a non-existent entity with a giant wagging finger has its lair. Shoulds are reality not materialized. Shoulds do not in fact exist. Ditch the shoulds. Think before you speak. Careless talk costs lives was a propaganda slogan by the British government in the Second World War, urging the populace to beware of giving information unknowingly to enemy agents. Updated, we might say that careless talk costs friendship, popularity, status, position, marital harmony, or reputation. Thinking first is particularly critical when tempers are rising and arguments become heated, and when situations are emotionally unstable. Deep, slow breaths are advised so that words may be thoughtfully chosen. Work every day. We could argue about what qualifies as work, but let's just settle for actions that get something that needs doing done. A period of work, short or long, will mean that daily we achieve something, and achievement is outwardly effective and inwardly satisfying. Be specific. Generalizations are, on the whole, unhelpful, a sentence which is, in itself, illustrative of the problem. When we say that men are afraid of commitment, for example, it simply cannot be true of all men, and is likely to be based on a very small sample. If, on the other hand, we say that some men are wary of commitment because they recognize the heavy responsibilities involved in raising and providing for a family, the claim becomes more reasonable and more open to discussion. Being specific adds value and weight to both argument and compliment. "You never do the cooking," for example, is not as persuasive as "The last time you cooked for us all was 1 month ago. When would you like to cook for us this week?" Or rather than just saying, "Well done," when a child comes third in the school 100 meters, saying, "The way you overtook both Jenny and Samantha was absolutely brilliant." Generalizations can be lazy and inaccurate. Specifics show research, knowledge, care, and attention. Stones you throw may not always hit the desired target. There's a classic 50s comic picture in which a boy in a Fair Isle tank top and knee-length shorts, held up by an elasticated snake belt, hurls a stone at a trespassing cat in the garden and smashes a window in his father's greenhouse. When we hurl insults, criticism, and blame at people, we may cause unintended damage. It's good to first check that the aim is true, the punishment warranted, and that the wind is in the right direction. Welcome responsibility. Responsibility gives meaning to our lives. Being responsible means being reliable, honoring our commitments, keeping our promises. Being responsible raises our self-esteem, diminishes chaos and gives us purpose. Being responsible enhances relationships and gains respect. Take it on the chin. Most of us have had to work hard to shrug off our inadequate parenting and achieve our modicum of self-esteem. Consequently, our skin is thin and criticism easily pierces our outer shell. We rush to defend ourselves so that we can shore up our fragile egos and feel angry and upset that people are thinking or behaving negatively towards us. But we need to stay calm, listen, indicate that we've heard, and then retreat to lick our wounds. It may be that the criticism is deserved, and this is why we're so agitated. It may be that the criticism is unwarranted, and we are maddened by the injustice of it. Time is needed to sort through our warring feelings and take stock of what is true, what is reasonable, and what needs to be done in response. Gratitude is itself a gift. To be grateful is to rejoice in the half-full glass. It's to see a port in every storm. It's to spot the silver lining. It's to count blessings. It's to thank the lucky stars. It's to be grateful for ancestors and running water and a roof over our heads, and our wonderful wives and children, and the deep abiding love of friends. It's to be grateful that we are alive and can see the northern lights, or hear a full orchestra play Beethoven's Fifth. Being grateful is the gift that really does keep on giving. The truth keeps the light on. It's become fashionable to deny the truth. Truth has taken a turn for the worse and become fake, faux, relative, individual, unpalatable, unprintable, malleable. Facts have become synonymous with science, but science not as we knew it. Science today is no longer valued as the arbiter of truth it once was. Like truth itself, science is being bent in the direction that best suits group goals in the culture wars. Truth is up for grabs. Troll factories and newspapers churn out lies. Social media magnify and distort reality, and consensus is becoming a thing of the past. The cohesive fabric of society relies on trust in and acceptance of things that we know to be true. When we are consistently lied to, or asked to believe in things which are not true, we become cynical, alienated, dissociated and depressed. Truth can best be saved at the individual level. We can assiduously research what we are told. We can seek sources of information which are tried and trustworthy. We can choose to tell the truth and decide with honesty regardless of the cost. We know what is true. We can honor that, save that, live that. Friends are to be treasured. Old friends are the rocks we rest on, the repositories of our memories, the people we admire, the ones who want the best for us, the finest company, our most sincere critics, our unstinting supporters. We need to treasure their existence in our lives by word and deed. Remember birthdays, celebrate their successes, mourn their tragedies, send comfort and congratulations, contact them regularly, accompany them in difficulty, be there to the end. Forgive yourself. We will never be perfect. We will always be irritable, selfish, dishonest, clingy, self-deluded, envious, unpunctual, messy, and mean. Sometimes. The error is to believe that these unpleasant occasional outbursts are the characteristics that define us. We have this grim tendency to remember and regret all the times we were horrible, and to forget that most of the time we bumble along successfully doing what we can to be decent and reasonable and useful. We need to give ourselves a break from the dreaded inner critic, make amends if need be, and do better next time. Take a deep breath and do it. A quiet, uneventful life is nothing to be sneezed at. Sitting by a glowing fire with cat and book and hot chocolate is delightful, and quite enough in itself. Habit and routine wind a cozy blanket around us to keep out the storms and the wolf from the door. But, sometimes our predictable comforts and routines might seem a little stifling, and that old piratical need for adventure may call us, and how are we to answer? So much depends on what it is that calls and what is being risked. Some soul-searching may be required. Some balance sheets may need to be consulted. Some advice may have to be sought. Or not. Sometimes we may just do something completely unexpected on a whim, and bingo, our lives suddenly move in an entirely different direction. We find new passions, new friends, new energy, new purpose. There are times to be bold. There are times to be undeterred. There are times to just do it.